Good morning, day 6,157. 13 days left with students. Winding it down. Got a friend gave me a text, sent me a text last night. I think he'd seen one of the videos, and he, he told me, because we were talking about administrators yesterday, and he said, I've been, it's my 26th year in education, and he said, I've had 23 different principals. Now, that's crazy. I decided, I need to add mine up, see how many I got. So, added mine up. I've had 13 in 29 years. Part of that, I'd like to say maybe it's coaching, because, when you coach, you move around a lot. And sometimes it's because you want to. Like the first place, I wanted to go somewhere else. And then sometimes it's not because you want to. It's because you may be getting nudged to leave, or you may just get fired. And I've had all of those happen to me. So anyway, part of it may be because he's coaching, and part of mine may have been because I was coaching. But if I'm honest, a lot of it was just we get a lot of principals. This job of being an administrator is a pretty tough job, and being a principal is a really tough job. I've never been a principal, but I've seen it affect people. Some of you older people may recall, like when Jimmy Carter was president, and how Jimmy Carter looked when he got the job, and then how Jimmy Carter looked at the end of 4 years. Remember, he looked like he had aged like 30 years. I've seen that happen to some principals. I've seen it really affect them. So, it's a lot more common for principals and coaches to move around a lot than it is teachers. And I've been to, 6 or 7 different schools. And like I said, I've had a lot of different principals. And when I first got married, we got married in where my wife lived, where Tammy lived. And that year, the first year we got married, and she had gotten pregnant and all this kind of stuff. And so the very first thing is they fired us from coaching. And so, and I had left places because I wanted to leave and things like that. But this time we were fired. And so, I started looking for a job, and it's a pretty extensive process. I mean, I'd send out letters to everywhere in the whole state that I'd want to work, and getting on the phone and calling all these people and networking and all this kind of stuff. So anyway, I got a job, and we moved there, and it was a really nice place to live, a really nice town, a good church, good people, a great place to live. And we're thinking, oh, this is fantastic. Well, they wanted to fire us after the first year, and we managed to make it through that. And then the second year they did fire us. And so now she's pregnant again. And so we're looking for a second place to move to and a second job, and I'm going through all the process again. And she's like, "Why'd you get fired?" She just didn't understand why we got fired from, and I don't understand why we got fired from there. When we weren't doing anything wrong, but anyway, she just couldn't comprehend that one. And so after we were looking for our second job, after I got fired twice in a 3-year period, she was like, "Is it like this all the time?" I said, "No, I've never been fired twice in a 3-year period before. This is the first time." But I had a long way to go, so the chances of that happening again were probably pretty good. And at some point there, after I went to my next school and coached a little bit, that was a point where I decided I might need to be an administrator, because you make more money, for the most part. And I don't know that it's any less stressful, but at least you don't have to move around from district to district. I got moved around a lot, but it was all in the same district. So at least you kind of get to live in the same place. So anyway, that was a big draw. And so I became an administrator. Also, I got to drive around a golf cart, because our school where I became an administrator had golf carts, and the administrators drove the golf carts because it was a big campus. So I was really, really interested in that, and that's pretty much sealed the deal for me. So since then, I've been able to live in the same house for a long time. Have a good day.